This video will show you how to add a new series to the Silmarillion Writers Guild website. So Oradrith is going to add a new series today. A series is a collection of fan works that are archived on the Silmarillion Writers Guild. They can be fan works that you have created, or they can be by other creators on the website. You can add a mixture of both. So just like with any other fan work, you can add a new one for two different ways. You can go to my account, add new fan work, and then select add new series, and that will take you to the form. Or you can go to my account, my fan works, which will bring up a list of all of the fan works you have added to the SWG site. And then you have these shortcut links over here for adding new fan works, and you would click on add new series, and it will take you to the exact same form we were just on. So Oradrith needs to first of all give his series a title, and I also want to point out there is a frequently asked questions document that breaks down all of the fields here and how to use them and what to add in them here. If you click on this, it will open in a new tab, so you don't need to worry about if you want to check it out and you're in the middle of entering a form that you're going to lose the data you've put in your form. So back to the title. Oradrith is going to call this Oradrith's collection of fan works. It's a very, very original title there. If you did want to add a co-creator, if you and another person are making this series together, you could add them in this field by beginning to type their name. So if he wanted to add me as a co-creator, he would just start to type my name, Dawn, and he could select me from the list there. As it is, he is not going to add a co-creator today. Language here defaults to English. If you are creating a series in a language, a real-world language, not an invented Tolkien language, other than English, you could change this here, but otherwise you're just going to leave this as it is. The summary field is required, so you're going to give a summary here of what readers, visitors can expect to find in this series. So this series collects random fan works that Oradrith thinks are awesome. Okay. You have slightly less choices on the series form than on some of the other add new fan works forms. So you can add major characters, and it's important to note for a series that you should be adding for characters in a series, you should be adding characters that are important to the whole series. Please don't just do a laundry list of every single character that appears at every single fan work in the series, because that just creates redundancies in the search results that aren't helpful to visitors. So in this case, Oradrith is going to add the story he just created about Anire and Arwen, and if he wants to add more than one, you can hold down Control on a PC, Command on a Mac to select more than one. Major relationships, you would begin typing the name of the characters. This is an Arwen friendship story, and he's including in there, so he's going to include a major relationship there. Multiple stories in the series, again, are going to include this relationship, so he is going to add this here. He is not going to create a laundry list of every single relationship that appears in every single story, because that would create those redundancies again. Relationships are listed in alphabetical order, so if you have trouble finding the relationship that you need, simply start typing the name of the character who appears first in the alphabet with a slash for romantic relationship and an ampersand for a friendship. If you had multiple relationships, you'd use the add another item. The next field is genre, and again, if you have a genre that dominates across your entire series, like a majority of your fan works belong to a particular genre, you can select it here so it shows up in search results for that genre. In this case, Oradrith is going to leave that blank. Same thing with challenge. If you created the series, not fan works within the series, but the entire series for a challenge, you can select it here. Okay. And he's also going to leave that blank. Now we get into series notes. So this will appear, this is similar to the story notes or recording notes for written and audio fan works. It will appear at the top of the fan work in both in the table of contents. So anything that you want your readers to see before they they proceed any further with your series is a good idea to include here. For example, if you had warnings for the series as a whole, you could include that here, or if you just wanted to provide more detail about how you selected these fan works. So Aradrith is going to say here, this collection includes my favorite stories that include both Anire and Eowyn. And now we get to where we add the series items. So again, you can include a fan work that you have created, or you can include a fan work created by another member of the Silmarillion Writers Guild. So he's going to first add his story, A Long Expected Party, here. So you notice how I start typing the title of the fan work, and it comes up with a list of fan works that I then select. If I want to add another series item, I click add another series item. Here he's going to add my story, The Sailing Forth. So he's going to type sailing, and there it is. These little 4-way arrow bars here, if you wanted to change the order that the series items appear in the table of contents, then you can do that here. And of course, your remove buttons, those are self-explanatory. If you add something that you don't want to keep in, then you would remove it there. Down here, if your series is complete, you would check this off. If you plan on adding to it, leave it blank. So I'm going to leave it blank for now. The authoring information field is used if you wish to backdate the series to an earlier date, which would cause it to not appear in the list of most recent fan works on the site. Do not use this field to forward date into the future. It's not a scheduler. It's just if you're archiving some older works that you don't want to necessarily appear on most recent, then you can use this here to push those further down the list. But I'm going to leave this blank because I do want it to appear on most recent. And the publish check mark here is checked by default. If I uncheck this, it saves it as a draft that is only visible to me and to the moderators. I'm going to leave this published. I want it to show right away. So I'm going to leave that there. Click save. And here's my series. So my series notes at the top here. And then you see a list of the fan works in the order that I included them. They include any warnings and the summary that are attached to those individual fan works by the author of that fan work. So I have now successfully added a series to the SWG archive.